I've read 3 books so far this month. To do my reading goal, I have to read 10 books this month, 10 books next month. Let's go back to the beginning of the year. I thought, you know what? I have A-levels this year. I probably shouldn't set myself a big reading goal. I set 52. It's 1 book a week. Then I finished it in August. So I thought, hey, you know what? I'm trying to read 50 books before I can buy any more books. Why not just, set the goal to 100 instead? Why not? That's a good idea, right? No, it's not a bloody good idea. Because, again, in the past 2 weeks, I've read 3 books. So what we're doing this week is basically, I'm gonna read a book every day for the next week. I'm not actually gonna be picking the books. I have a spinner with a bunch of prompts on them, like, I don't know, read a book that starts with the first letter of your name. Read a book on your TBR. And I'm gonna let the spinner pick prompts for me to then pick a book. So this week, let's dish about books, except once again, I don't get to pick them, which is great. I have to read 7 of them, and I can't fail because I've already failed enough challenges on this channel. Back to me when I chose the first book. It's time to spin the wheel. I'm quite nervous. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like I've put in some options that could be pretty bad. Horror book, which is gonna be bad. Book that's over 500 pages. This one's gonna be a bit different to the others. It's already 3 o'clock and I've already read for like 2 hours today. This book can be read a bit tomorrow. There are gonna be 7 books read by the end of the week. Let's do it. There's something I did. That was so close to being horror. Like rom-com. Okay, that's a good way to start. It was gonna land on horror. I would have stopped the video and just not. First book of the video is Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah McAdams. Sarah Adams. Will their unlikely alliance put an end to their rivalry, or could it lead to a steamy plot twist they never saw coming? I swear, it wasn't me. It was the thing. I didn't choose to read a rom-com. It just happened. Part of like an interconnected standalone series. I've read Practice Makes Perfect, and I've read, not the cheat sheet, what's it called? Practice Makes Perfect, and I've read When in Rome. So yeah, the first book of the video. I'm so excited. I was about to call this Practice Makes Perfect. Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams. It's to do with writing and publishing and all of that sort of stuff. So it's gonna be great. Put this one over to tomorrow morning. From then on, it will be 1 book a day. I'm so excited and I hope you are too. Let's just get on with this. I am going to be talking a lot about books. After this is done, it won't even be the end of the month and I'll have read the 10. Let's do this! There are 3 things you need to ignore. The fact that I'm wearing the same cardigan as yesterday. The fact that my hair is still wet. The fact that I haven't actually even started the book from yesterday. We do have to pick the book for today and the book for tomorrow. So I'm going away and we need to get them on my Kindle. It's time to bring back the Wheel of Misfortune. Okay, the book for today. So it's Friday today. So the book for Friday. Oh, fantasy. We're getting like the very specific ones. What's a good fantasy book that would be fun? The goal is going to be to finish the 3 books by tomorrow, which honestly should be fine. I'm not really nailing it down to be read within the days as long as there's 7 read by next Wednesday. We're going to try and find a shortish one. 660 pages. I'm sorry. 462 pages. No, thank you. Oh, 302 pages. I want to read fantasy that's not safe for work. I want it to be safe. I don't know, I just feel like I don't want a fantasy book. But then I need one. Like I chose to do this. The next book I click on is going to be the book unless it's 600 pages. Never Broken by Everly Clare. She was born into power, he was born into chains. Both of them are slaves. Lou isn't part of his plan. I love the name Lou. My favourite book, Serpent and Dove, which honestly, if we get reread a book, I'm reading Serpent and Dove. Louise LeBlanc, Nicole Halou. It's my favourite thing ever. Oh, it was published the 15th of January this year. And it said there's a guaranteed happy ever after in book 3. Why? Why have you said that in book 1? Oh, the second one's out. Is the third one out? Third one's not out. Third one is out. Third one could be out. If it's another genre, we're spinning again. Read a book you haven't seen anyone else read. That doesn't really work for Kindle because all of them have reviews on them. We're cheating and doing it again. No, this looks really bad on me. No, I can't. I feel like that looks too bad. That doesn't work. Whatever it is this time, this is the one it's ending up on. That does actually work for Kindle. I'm thinking we read Wild Dark Shore by someone who I can't see right now, Charlotte McConaughey. I'm quite happy with that, even though I did technically cheat to get it, which I really just couldn't care less about. Family on a remote island, a mysterious woman washed ashore, a storm gathering force. Dominic Salt and his 3 children are caretakers of Shearwater, a tiny weather-lashed island that is home to the world's largest seed bank. Shearwater risks being lost to rising sea levels. The island's researchers have fled and only the salts remain, until during the worst storm in living memory, a stranger washes ashore. The family nursed the woman, Rowan, back to strength. but it seems she isn't. Family nurse the woman Rowan back to strength, but it seems she isn't telling the whole truth about why she's there. And when Rowan stumbles upon sabotage radios in a recently dug grave, she realised that she's not the only one on the island with a secret. We've got Begborough Still, which is yesterday's. We've got Never Broken, which is today's. We've got Wild Dark Shore, which is tomorrow's. Okay, get ready for the room tour. We've got a massive TV, like honestly, the biggest hotel TV I've ever seen. We've got me. Ignore the fact that I'm wearing pyjama shorts. It's raining and it's like pouring outside and my jeans are soggy. Bed. We've got my book over there. That's the room. I hate sleeping in hotel rooms and just away from home. It always freaks me out. Okay, we are back here. Good news first or bad news first? We're gonna do good news because I like doing good news first, because then I can set you up for failure. I've read 2 of the 3 books that I was supposed to read. So I've read Begborough Still, which was Thursday's book, and I started whatever the book was, which was our fantasy book. It was not fantasy at all. Well, maybe it did, but like the first like chapter just didn't have any fantasy elements, and I was like, you know what, if I'm reading a fantasy, I want like full fantasy in the world from the beginning, high stakes from the beginning. So I did kind of not read it, and I switched to The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber, and it was already downloaded onto my Kindle because I bought it on my Kindle, so I'd say it was worth it. I've not started Wild Dark Shore, and it's Sunday, so we do actually have to pick our next book, which is today's book. But I think as long as I can finish Wild Dark Shore today, it's like 302 pages, which is maybe like 3 hours. Bad news, I've only read 2 of the 3 books. Okay. Read a book you haven't seen anyone else read. That should be quite easy. Let's have a look, see. Shall we? Our book for today, A Curse of Salt by Sarah Street. In a kingdom that fears the sea, Rhea LaCroix longs to be brave. Bodies are washing ashore and everyone knows who's to blame. Legends of the Heartless King shroud the continent in fear. They call him a pirate, a monster, a god. Rhea's family is faced with a horrifying demand. Their father's life spared in exchange for one of his daughters. Determined to save her sisters, Rhea launches herself into the world of pirates, face to face with the Heartless King. She finds he is far more than the story is told. Shrouded in shadows and bound to the seas by a centuries-old curse. As their chemistry blooms into something more, Rhea must battle men and monsters alike, only to discover that some curses aren't so easy to break. That's our book for today. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll have read 4 books. No, hopefully by the end of the day we'll have read 3.5 books. Hopefully by the end of the day we'll have read 3.25 books. Do you think I just keep going down and no one will notice? Okay, we're about to start this. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I just started A Curse of Salt. I've read like 20 pages. I'm still a book behind. As long as I don't have to read like 3 books on the last day, we should be good. Close my eyes and just... I have an idea. Okay, so on Kindle Unlimited recommendation. I clicked on Hot for Slayer, Scared Sexy Collection by Ali Hazelwood. I like Ali Hazelwood. She's a great author, but when a vampire slayer loses all his memories, the only person who can help him is the vampire he's tried to kill for centuries. When Ethel, she has a long name, finds her sworn nemesis with no memory of who or what they are, an ancient hunt becomes an unexpected chance at forbidden passion. Ethel realizes she might be in danger of losing more than just her head. Maybe I'll find a book I really love. If you like this sort of books, that's so fair. I just don't. And I really don't like how Ali Hazelwood writes. To be fair, no one said I had to read them in the right order, so I could read that tonight, get that one done, and then just focus on this. It's the next day. I finished Hot for Slayer. Maybe I reacted prematurely. Maybe it wasn't as bad as I didn't think it was gonna be bad. I just thought it was gonna be... Her books tend to be very centered on set. There was only one chapter and it was right at the end, so you could just miss it. Like I said, I haven't actually finished A Curse of Salt yet. If I don't pick a book now, I'm not going to do it. So it's time to pick our second to last book. I'm on page 162 and there's 340. So that 100 pages, not 600 pages, not 600 pages, not 600 pages, not 600 pages. Why did I even include that? That's most of my books that I've got physical copies of. It's Suddenly a Murder by Lauren Munoz. To celebrate the end of high school, Izzy joins her best friend Cassidy and 5 others on a luxury 1920s themed getaway at the glamorous Ashwood Manor. There, they party in vintage dresses as secrets are spilled and scandals unfold. It's all fun and games until Cassidy's boyfriend turns up dead. Soon the sparkling young socialites are the prime suspects in his murder. There's the girlfriend and the other girl, the old friend and the new friend, the brooding enigma, and then there's Izzy, the girl who brought the knife. Honestly, I do have quite high hopes for this. We only have one book after this, so these are the last, this plus something else the last 3. I can feel myself going into a reading slump. I think it was Wild Dark Window. Okay. Recently I read a book called One Dark Window and I keep getting confused between that and Wild Dark Shore. I think it's because of Wild Dark Shore, I don't know. I just really didn't like the pacing and it's really like screwed me over. Screwed me. Maybe we don't keep that clipping. I do love retellings and this is a Beauty and the Beast one mixed with like, it's like pirate Beauty and the Beast, which I think is quite cool. Maybe we could do a video of just reading retellings. Okay, ignore the fact that I changed my jumper. I've somehow lost a bookmark. Sorry. Don't be too excited to see me. I've somehow lost a bookmark. I have like 30 pages left. Can we stop writing fantasy books where a freshly 18 character falls in love with like a man who's like 300 years old or like 1,000 years old? Please. Okay, so I just started Suddenly a Murder, like literally 5 seconds ago. I've only read the prologue and I was reading the second page of the prologue. And then I'm not very good at staying focused, so my eyes dart over to chapter 1, the start of chapter 1. I'm so confused. I thought I was going insane for a second. The ship in A Curse of Salt was called the Blood Rose. There's a ship in this also called the Blood Rose. Is that not crazy? I genuinely thought this was some like big prank that the book was playing on me and it was gonna jump out and say surprise. What do you mean it's got the exact same name? This is really where the worry kicks in because it's 4 o'clock, it's past 4 on the final day. I haven't finished this one. I do only have like 30 pages left. I haven't actually chosen the next book. I could cheat. I think I could pick any book, right? I'm gonna pick a romance book. The end result doesn't matter because for all you know, I did think this book was gonna be 5 stars. Oh, there's an author with my surname. I'm not gonna read that one out. I'm not reading a Colleen Hoover book. I would rather kill myself. I would jump out of that window if I had to. All of them are quite Christmassy. How many pages is there? I hate to just talk about it in page lengths because books are not the sum of the page lengths. That's not what, no, that's too long. But I need a book that's like 200 pages to be able to finish this and actually say that I've done it. So I think we're gonna do a Clara Nielsen book because I know that I really enjoy those. Like I've read a couple of them before. I've read like 5 of them before this year and I've given a couple of them 5 stars just because of the feelings. Do we do Famous Boys Don't Date New Girls? Oh, I actually really like her books. Celebrities Don't Date Bookworms. What's the one that I read and it had a really fun title? I don't know why that's so much fun. The Heartthrobs Don't Date Wallflowers. That's so much fun. Singers Don't Date Fangirls. Finding Me. Levi Barrett. Grumpy hockey player, my new class partner, and the guy I'm apparently supposed to get to go on a date with me. Why? Because my best friend thought it'd be funny to tell the whole school I could. Spoiler, I cannot. Because not only is he moody, mysterious, and allergic to small talk, he has also never dated anyone, ever. Good thing my friends have no shortage of plans to win him over, even if each one is more ridiculous than the last. The only problem, somewhere in all the fake flirting and scheming, I've started to fall for him for real. Finding Her is a sweet and wholesome grumpy/sunshine romance set at a boarding school. Get your copy today. Oh yes, I will. Our last book. One sec. Okay, so just for context, we're sitting at the edge of the woods, and a man has just appeared who happens to be the MMC. A whole gaggle of girls, literal giggling, squealing girls, came charging out of the woods after him like some sort of stampede. Does that actually happen? Imagine you're just sat on a bench, whatever, on the grass somewhere, and you look up and there's just a bunch of people chasing some man. Okay, we're about to finish the challenge. It's like 10:15 and I only have 50 pages left of the book. The last book, the 7th book that we've read this week, honestly, I was so sure that I wasn't going to be able to do it. I was preparing myself for another speech at the end where I'm like, yeah, I tried my hardest, I couldn't do it. I did it. I'm so close to being done. I should go into these things like thinking I can do them, but it's more the fact that literally on the first day I failed and I just didn't touch that book. And then we've been behind for this entire video and somehow I'm about to finish. I'm just so proud of myself. Like, it sounds so silly, but like, this year has been kind of rough. I think books have been kind of the thing that's like really helped me through. And like dropping out of uni, all of that sort of thing. No one's been bad about it, don't get me wrong, but you can kind of see how people, they have very different views on it than you do, because obviously they're not going through the experience firsthand. They don't really understand why I dropped out, all of that sort of thing. It's so good to just have that one thing that you can just sit down, do, and just take a breath. This is all that matters at the minute, not the world outside of it, if that makes sense. I don't know, I feel like I can set a big goal next year and actually know that I might be able to complete it. Like, my goal was to read 1 book a week for this year, and this week I've read 7. And I know that's not possible for every week. Next year that's not going to be possible, but I think I can aim for at least 2 books a year, maybe, no, 2 books a year, 3 books a week. We need to finish this book. I don't think it's going to be 5 stars. I love reading books where it centers on people and people's ideas and people's issues, and like working a way out of that and showing that like anything bad can be turned around. And the main character in this, you know, where it's like Grumpy and Sunshine, like the trope of the book is Grumpy Sunshine. The FMC of this is Sunshine. It's just so refreshing. I read 7 books in a week. There were honestly like 16 different times in this video where I was like just thinking that this was going to be impossible. I think it's time I come clean about something. The challenge was to let a pick a wheel pick a book for me, a different book every day. The challenge was not to actually read the books. I thought that I could just like get away with just doing the pickers and just lying and saying I'd read the book. I didn't actually read them. I'm sorry. Tricked you, pranked you, you just got pranked. I thought because I hadn't actually recorded much reading I could lie about it. Bit of an odd joke to make, but you know. It's time to do a recap because for the first time I finished it. I actually managed to read 7 books in a week. It was tough. It was not fun at times, but we smashed it. We need to recap the books because I have not actually talked enough about books today. At the minute, I'm doing a challenge basically just for myself. Can't buy any books until I've read 50. We just got to 25, so I've read halfway through that, which is exciting. Beg, Borrow or Steal by Sarah Adams. I love romance books. I love Sarah Adams. I gave this one 4 stars. I think the main issue, I always say this, it didn't feel like there was a very big emotional connection. I think I want a book where there's like yearning, and this one just didn't really have that. The relationship kind of starts a lot earlier than the 2 characters actually agree to be together. Like, they're already in love within like 100 pages or so, and that's just like, I need yearning. I need yearning. I know enemies to lovers, there need to be signs of them falling in love. They need to be clearly like, you can't actually hate the person if you're gonna fall in love with them, but you can, but there's a very thin line between love and hate, and sometimes you can just cross it without even realizing it. I don't know if I'm just so specific about how I want my enemies to lovers to work. Them coming into a coffee shop and you just being like, yeah, you can sit at my table, that's fun. Like, that's just not. Characters, insane. I love that it's like an interconnected standalones, because you see the characters from the old books and you're just like, I get to see you again. That's so much fun. The town is so like colourful and well built, and it wasn't really shown as much in this one, but in the other two you see a lot of. No, I just didn't really enjoy this one as much as the other two. I think this one wasn't. Her writing is very like witty and funny, and this one just didn't really make me laugh very much. The character in this, Emily, she is oldest sister in the family. Basically feels like she has to look after her siblings. They're all grieving the loss of their parent. Make sure that they all know that she's there for them. And in doing that, she kind of restricts herself. She's so centered on making sure they get what they need, but she doesn't actually focus on what she needs. The next prompt was fantasy. Okay, this was where I did kind of ignore the book that I chose in the video. I bought The Ballad of Never After a couple of, like, I've read it before and I wanted to reread it, so I reread that. I just love Stephanie Garber. The only bad thing, honestly, is Apollo. I think Apollo and Luck, if both of them just weren't involved, I would be so much happier, but I guess you are supposed to feel like that because they are kind of like the bad characters. Genuinely, I think I was just a bit salty about this one when I finished it, because I went to look it up to buy it. Like, I have the hardcover copy of the first one. Went to look up how much it would cost to get the second and third one. Why does the hardcover cost £60? I love Jax. The relationship between them is so confusing but also so great at the same time. Wild Darkshore, I gave it a 3. I was really disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. I went into it with like, I'd heard so many great things about the book. I was so ready to like really enjoy it, and then I just hated the writing style. I couldn't get into it. It wasn't bad. Well, for me the pacing was just odd. Like, the only character I cared about was Orly, which is like, it's a family of 4 on this island, and then this woman comes in. Orly's the youngest sibling. He's the only one I cared about. It kept switching perspectives. You would have one perspective, then a different character's perspective, but some of them used like, some of them were first person, some of them were third person, but then sometimes the same character would be first person, and then it made me really confused from the beginning. The setting is really interesting. The relationship between the woman and the dad was a bit odd, not going to lie, for me at least. Next we read Hot for Slayer by Ali Hazelwood. I think I was really overly critical in the beginning, and I would just like to apologise for that. I have read one of her books before, Problematic Summer Romance, and I really just didn't enjoy it. I think I would say this is like 3.5 stars, but in my head going in, I thought it was gonna be 1. Before I pick a book, I think I just need to take a breath and be like, you have not read this before, you have no idea what you need to expect, so don't preempt it. Don't go into a book thinking like, oh, this is gonna not be the best thing I've ever read. It was like really fast paced. I got through it within like an hour and 10 minutes. The characters, you do meet the characters in a very interesting way, where it's like, even though it's so short, you do quite instantly like connect to them. Next we read A Curse of Salt by Sarah Street, and I gave it 3.5 stars. It was really easy to get through. I really liked the setting. I love Beauty and the Beast, so I love a good Beauty and the Beast retelling, and it was different because they're actually pirates. The MMC, Sebastian, who talked like he had never set foot on a ship before, like, you know, like the stereotypical pirates, like, "Arr, me hearty, buried treasure and gold." All of the other pirate characters would talk like that, except him. There was a whole lot more of this section where I was just talking about the fact that the main character was 18 and the love interest was 321, and how strange I found that. I think my main issue with this book was I didn't connect with the characters, because the female main characters, the FMC's main motivation was her past. You know, Beauty and the Beast, it's all about family, wanting to get back to that family and then finding a new family. We only knew her past family for about a chapter, 2 chapters before she was gone. And I just feel like that kind of wrecked it for me, because I'm like, I just don't care about you. Like, if your whole motivation is family and it's all about getting home to that family and protecting them, how am I supposed to care if I don't actually see that relationship? But honestly, apart from that, it was really cute. Again, love Beauty and the Beast. I love the structure. I love the pacing. Apart from that, the pacing was amazing. Sorry, it's been like a week since I've read it and I can't remember. If you were thinking about reading this and you want to read a Beauty and the Beast retelling, go for it. It's a really good option. Next we read Suddenly a Murder by Lauren I still don't know how to say it. Munoz? I gave it 4.5 stars. I love a good murder mystery book where there's an isolated setting, there's a little romance story brewing, there's only a few characters. I feel like I do like books where there's less characters so you can actually like be introduced to all of them separately. You think you know what's happened the entire time, but there's like the thought brewing at the back of your mind where it's like, that cannot possibly be what's happened because what would be the point? And then at the end there's like 5 different twists and you're like, oh my god, and you're like begging for the main character to get out and just be safe and be happy once it's all over. At the every few chapters, or like every other chapter, whatever, there would be a chapter where you would see one of the characters past to give you just a bit of insight into it. The only reason it's not 5 stars, because honestly it's so close. Honestly, I don't know, it just didn't give me like the 5-star feeling. And our final book was Finding Her by Clara Nielsen. I literally can't say anything other than I loved it. I love her writing style. It's so easy to get into. Again, so fast paced. Characters are amazing. The characters are well developed. The settings are cool. This one was a boarding school. It was short. I was looking for a book that was a bit shorter just to make sure I could finish the challenge. It was too short. I wanted more time with the characters. Honestly, that's a good thing though, because you must have enjoyed it if you want more time with them. He was a bit grumpy and then he wasn't. I just, when I hear those tropes, I think like they're gonna be exactly as I want them to be and they're just never. That's the end of it today. We read 7 books in 7 days. We let the Wheel of Misfortune tell us what we were reading, a book a day for 7 days. I did do it even though I said I didn't do it. Honestly, I had so much fun and I hope you did too. I hope you have a lovely day or a lovely rest of your day. I have no clue where you are and I will see you next week. Toodles.